Hi, this is Win Claybaugh. Welcome to my Best of Masters weekly audio blog for AmericanSalon.com. Next up is one of my favorite clips from the last 20 years of inspiring interviews from Masters Audio Club.
I was reading, how you got started in the business and that Paul Mitchell sort of took you on as him being your mentor and growing up in that. Would you talk about that for a minute? What was that like on the inside, being drawn in to that whole part of the business as opposed to what you were doing before that?
Well, I had worked behind the chair and was working. My 30th birthday came, and I had an assistant, a full clientele, and I woke up with a frozen shoulder from hairdressing. And I thought, oh my word, what am I going to do? My body is like calling, attention right now, and I had no desire to be a salon owner. So I decided to take advanced education. I went to Europe and did the Jingles, Tony and Guy and Sassoon training, London, went to Paris. Came back and heard about Paul Mitchell. And that's when Claybaugh tells the story, but I had to do some good financing to get to Hawaii and meet Paul, which I did. And when I met Paul, it was like amazing. I knew the man was going to make a difference in my life, huge. I fell in love with him, but his professionalism and his ability to teach life, not just hair, but life, was just such a link for me. And then it was 2 years later, my son went to live with his dad in Oregon. I had been a single parent since he was 4. He was 10.
Wow.
And he stayed there for 3 years. When he left, I went to Hawaii. I said, I can't do the same thing. It was really hard. So I kind of packed up and went to Hawaii.
Can I actually ask a question here? When you said that you heard about Paul Mitchell and then you kind of sought him out, where was he at that stage of his career? The Paul Mitchell product was not out.
No. He had gone from New York and his super hair and training, and he really got blackballed from the show circuit and went to Hawaii. Blackballed.
Really?
Yeah, he did some controversial things. He was a bit controversial, and it was a controversial era. But there were streakers in the hair shows at that time, and people were wanting him to take his clothes off. Anyways, he was just a little bit of a bad boy, and so he sold everything, went to Hawaii, and that's when he worked on the product line. I went to his very first Hawaii educational seminar, and he came out with the products. It was almost 2 years later that he and JP got together as partners.
Well, let's back up a little bit even before that. When did you get into the business, and what made you want to get into the business?
I got into business in 66. I guess I just knew I always wanted to be a hairdresser. I met a neighbor of mine was a hairdresser when I was a little girl, and she was the coolest mom and the coolest lady, and I would sweep hair for her. She did it just at her house, and so I loved hair, and I could wrap perms, cut hair, and do color by junior high.
Wow.
And I went through high school being like the house that everybody came to before prom, and I did a lot of hair. My mom's friends, everybody's. I was good at art, and I was good at hair. I wasn't a very good student, but I learned later that you just really are good at what you love. So I knew I would go to beauty school from junior high on, and I did. And that was Wyoming, Montana is where I went to beauty school, and then moved to California. And I didn't think I would be a salon owner. I thought that was a challenge to me to, take care of the money and take care of the towels and take care of the hairdressers. So being a single parent, I thought that was enough parenting. And it was much later, actually, after I had worked with Paul for a number of years, that I became a salon owner.
Wow. And when you became a salon owner at that point, did you still feel that way? I don't know if I can handle it.
It wasn't my favorite. No. Yeah. I love doing hair. And even today, I think that I've challenged the business side of me enough to be able to put together a lifestyle that works to support the art. So I think we need that balance. It's real key, and Paul was always really influential in making sure that you balance the art and the business. He did well at that.